So we are going to be using the Ajax method called post. It takes three parameters. The first parameter will be the URL. The second parameter will be a JSON data. And the third parameter will be a success function. What are we supposed to do upon success? I like to, like I said before, I like to kind of place placeholders, and then I can later fill them up with what I want. So what do I mean by JSON? JSON is a JavaScript object notation. It is more of the standard now for interchanging data between any two parties. So it is being used heavily for web development. I'm going to be putting in a link to the W3 schools, so you can take a look. Just want to quickly show you. See, the format of JSON is as simple like this. It's just a key value pairs, and you can create a JSON object and send it over the net. You can code for the use the JSON objects inside C#. You can also send them to JavaScript, and you can parse them. So it's kind of like a standard right now. XML used to be big before, but now it has moved to JSON. So we will be sending it in the format of JSON. Let's think about it. What URL do we want to use? We are doing a post batch. So on clicking the remove button, we want to call shopping cart. The action method that we want called is remove from cart. Data. Let's look at the data. What do we want to pass for data? We want to say the ID will be equal to some ID. Okay. Some ID. ID will be equal to some ID. We don't have that ID yet. And then we have a success function. So what would be the ID? The ID would be the ID of that specific remove button that got clicked. So let's go to our link. Okay, so this is remove link. It does not have a unique class, but it has something called as data ID. Data ID can is the same like when we used Ajax, everything was like data dash, right? So we created our own data dash attribute here, and we are passing the record ID. So we want to retrieve this attribute, and then use that attribute. So that is the attribute that we want to get, right? So let's see. We want to get this attribute from the object. So we are at the remove link, right? So we are calling any link that has the dot remove link as the class. So when you say this, you are referring to the link. The link's attribute data ID. So that is what we are retrieving. So I'm going to say var ID equal to that. So that is where my local string is going in here. The third thing is going to be my function. So I am going to be saying function. This is going to be a nameless function. Oh, sorry. And then this function is going to do something for me. What is it going to do? It is going to populate elements in my view with data from the controller. So if you look at the controller, there were a lot of things that we did. We set a lot of data, 4 fields actually, not a lot of data. We set 4 fields here. These 4 we are going to retrieve through this object data. And it is going to be in the JSON format, okay? So that is what we are going to be doing. So let's start retrieving the data. Let's get the message, okay? So we are going to be getting data.message, okay? So and we are going to take this message and we are going to put it inside the field with an ID called message. See here, we have this div has the ID update message. So that is where we are going to put it. So I'm going to be saying update message bar text will be equal to data.message. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to be updating other elements. So let's look at simple ones. For example, cart total. So my ID is going to be cart total and I have to update it with the new cart total. So that would be here. So data.cart total. Okay, so let's see the next one. The next one would be item count with the record ID, right? So that will be the name of my object. So I'm going to be getting some object that starts with item count plus data.delete id dot text. Do I need the text? Let's see. The item count. Yeah, I need to update it. Dot text will be equal to data.item count. Let's see the fourth one. Oh, that will be the row. So this is the row that we want to delete. Have count is 0. So that would be dollar. See here, I need a pound key. So we take this record dot fade out. So what I'm doing is remove hide a row. Hide a row. So we need more code there, but I'm just like keeping a placeholder there. So I want to hide a row. You hide a row when the item count is 0. If data.item count 0, okay, so that is done. What else? I think that's about it. Let's give it a whirl, see how that goes. Just creating some data so I can test this better. Okay, so if I say remove this guy, it says clicked. Okay, let's see if we get the attribute correctly. Let's check this ID. ID says 1. Let me show you how the data looks here. I did a Control Shift I. I'm going to click on this arrow. So I don't remember which one I decided to remove. So if you see how it is, that record ID is getting appended to the data ID.